name is Maryn and I am the author of The Glass Sky, which is a guide for women breaking into the outdoor industry. So it covers kind of a broad expanse of the different aspects of the female's experience in the outdoor industry. It covers some bias that females are presently facing, the ways that women are crushing barriers and pushing limits and breaking society's expectations, which is really cool. That's easily my favorite part to talk about and write about. And then it also talks about kind of the opportunities that we as the next generation have in the outdoor industry, thanks to these women who have built a foundation for us. No, never knew that I would write a book, I have to say. It's going to be really exciting to have the physical book in our hands. It's going to be cool to see how all the work we've done is kind of compiled into one. So I was pretty surprised. Wasn't walking into class expecting that at all, but was kind of like, okay, I guess we'll give this a try as long as we're given the time to do it. Give it a go. But then as time went on, it became clear that it was going to be a pretty cool project. So I decided to go 100% for it, and it was worth it. So in the beginning, I had no idea what I was going to write about and struggled with it for several weeks. But I kind of came to grips with, I just had to pick something that I really cared about. And I ended up picking a topic that I really am passionate about, although I knew nothing about it. So that was kind of daunting to kind of foresee an entire book with, not even knowing the structure or anything that would be on the inside. But I'm really happy I made that choice because it made all of the work a lot more enjoyable. And I also kind of, in the beginning there, had to question what it was that I really was passionate about and what I cared enough about to write an entire book. So having no direction for my career after school and anything like that, it was something I was going to have to face eventually, but was kind of cool to face in this process with this guidance, and I'm really happy that the topic ended up being so personally relevant. So we were given lots of cool ideation exercises, and none of them really seemed to be clicking for me because my ideas were not very good. But we were told to write about or explore the industry of a group of people that you would like to be stuck in a room with for 40 days. And that really stuck with me because I was like, that's so right. You would want to work beside those people. You'd want to get lunch with those people, go to a concert with those people. And for me, I just kept coming back to the group of women that enjoy the outdoors. Those are the friends that I'm drawn to. That's the lifestyle that I'm attracted to. And so I was like, I don't have a great business idea in this industry, but this is a group of women that I would like to interview, and I want to hear about their experience. And that eventually evolved into, I want to get a job in this industry and empower these people and kind of see what I can do to help make that experience more positive for this group of people. So it was very people-centric, my topic decision. So as I mentioned, when I began writing this book, I didn't think that I had anything to say about being a woman in the outdoor industry. But kind of the more I talked to women and the more I researched and read, I realized, she said something really interesting about, XYZ, and I kind of felt that at sailing practice. I'm on the sailing team here. I felt that a while ago, or I felt that growing up in our neighborhood, playing kickball, which in my opinion should definitely be included in this, the outdoor industry conversation. But I realized that I did kind of have stories to share of my own, and I think that a reason why this book is important is because I wouldn't have realized that without that. And I'm sure there are tons of women that have had experiences that they may not have recognized as unjust, or just have kind of brushed off because that's kind of just a strategy, and I still do that, and it is like a good usable strategy, but it was kind of cool to reflect using the stories that these women shared on my own life, and connect the two dialogues. They think it's pretty cool, and I feel the same way. It's like, I can't believe that I even have like a book cover of my own for something I've written. It's pretty cool to think about, but it's also just such like a powerful image. It's really exciting to see that, and then also to think that that's like the women inside the book, that's what they're doing. Like, it's not just a romantic image that looks good on the cover. It's like really representative of what women are doing and what they can do. And she's wearing, like gender neutral clothes. She's like crushing. She's just like, she is doing something that, we can all hope to do, and the women in the book will help us to do. So kind of deeper under the surface, I was really, really excited by that cover. So the 3 interviews that stick out to me the most were the first 2 that I made, primarily because I was so nervous and excited to be talking to women that I had never met and may never meet, but they have done some really cool things. Just, they're super established. And then the other moment that really sticks out to me is I found some videos of a professional whitewater kayaker. Her name is Adrienne Love-Connect. Super cool, amazingly talented. And I was like, what the heck, I'll send her an email. So I sent her an email, very general, just said, would love to talk to you sometime in the next few weeks. If you have a moment, maybe we can call. If not, you can respond by email. Because I know they're busy and they're jet setting off all sorts of places. But she said, I'm in town in DC next week visiting my sister, and I would love to get a coffee with you. And I said, well, yeah, that'd be awesome. I said, I'll be there like anytime. Like that's great. Thank you so much. So it was pretty surreal to hear that from her, having just spent the last hour looking at these awards she's won, and really cool kind of her story and her successes. But when I met with her, she was so humble and so funny and so fun, and the stories she shared were so interesting. And I genuinely felt that she would have sat with me for hours just to answer my questions. And that time with her really affirmed that I had picked the right group of people to be stuck in the room with. And it was pretty cool to hear face to face from someone who just had an expansive knowledge on this topic that I so badly wanted to learn about, and that I just never would have put myself in that place talking to someone like that, and this book brought me there, so it was pretty cool. So I would definitely say I'm the most nervous to hand the book back to the woman that I interviewed, because I hope that I portrayed their stories in the way that they intended. And I'm also a little nervous to give it to women like me who are looking for a career path in that industry, because I hope that it's relatable to them, and that's kind of the whole point. So I hope that it hits that mark, and I hope that it's inclusive and realistic for them. Yeah. So I would say my doubts in the beginning were mostly of the logistical nature, like how am I going to do this with the course load? How am I going to interview women that have done such amazing things when I'm a student? How am I going to write a book? Things along those lines. And then as we got kind of further along, I was like, does anything that I write, like, will that be useful to anyone? Is it going to be controversial? It was kind of more of like a personal nature, but those doubts were less like barriers and more just kind of like, I think, a natural part of the process. Whereas in the beginning, my doubts were so big and looming, but we had support and we kind of just carried on. And I still do have doubts about, giving the book out and having people read it and judge it and have their own opinions. But I think that that's expected, and I'm excited to see how those kind of play out. So I think that I realized that I should choose what I'm passionate in. I think I was kind of wavering in the beginning of junior year about that. And then also I realized that I kind of did lack confidence in some areas that I never really would have admitted to myself before, specifically about choosing a career in the outdoors and so I kind of overcame those hesitations and wrote about it in the book. So I hope that that is valuable to anyone else, but I definitely this is the biggest thing I've probably accomplished, especially in the school setting, so have gained a sense of pride because of that. So I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm really excited about the possibilities. One thing that I've learned is that it can be done, and women are doing it, and women are supporting each other in the industry. And I also learned that there's a huge gap for kind of recruitment and education of women my age, just through conversations I've had about the book with my friends, family. People aren't really sure what the outdoor industry is, or like what opportunities there are. So I think it would be cool to maybe move into that space and try and build some sort of program. I think that would have a lot of really cool, long-lasting effects on the female experience, kind of in a broader sense. So I'm a marketing major, so I was planning on doing some sort of marketing internship this upcoming summer, and then probably going to a bigger company after school, just something with a steady paycheck, something I could learn from, and then kind of see what happens from there. And I think that time, though I'm sure it would have been valuable in some sense, might have been wasted, because I don't think that I would have been happy really doing that, because a primary motivation was just, it was routine and expected. And I realized in this process that what I really care about and what I really would like to do is something that revolves around the outdoors. And I'm sure I would have gotten there eventually, but through the women I talked to in writing this book, they showed me that you really can do it once you make the choice to do it. And if you focus on the right things and stay true to, caring about living your passion, it can be done. So it definitely, my career plans definitely changed in these 8 months. So it's crazy to think that this journey has been 8 months, because it feels like it went by much quicker. But when I really think about it, I know that those 8 months will have an impact on my next 8 years or more. And I couldn't have done anything like that without having the goal of writing this book and having the goal of seeing it through to the end. So I realized kind of in the beginning of this class that this book was going to be more important to me, like professionally, academically, and personally, than just like a bullet point on a resume or a grade, some sort of class project. It was going to be like really integral to my future. And I think that that's really the case, because I've already felt the changes personally, but I think that I will, it's a tool. It's such a cool tool to have And it required a lot of hard work, but that hard work is like so totally proportional to the, I think, potential it has to bring about really cool results in real life time, in real life, in the real world, not just in the classroom. So pretty stoked to think about that. It is the first time for sure in my life that I've done anything that is just so kind of up for judgment. I'm kind of conservative and I don't know, the actions I take, I don't like to be the first to jump up and do something kind of crazy. So it will be cool, but also kind of intimidating to hand this out to people. But I also think that in the big picture, we're students, and any adult that reads this, I think they will appreciate kind of the hard work that we've put into it, and I think what we've done is pretty cool for someone our age. So I'm sure in 10 years I'll be like, I've grown since I've written that book, but for now I think that it is what it is, and I'm proud of what I've done. So. They're pretty excited, and they've been really supportive through the whole thing. I think they're a little bit in disbelief, not in a bad way, but in a good way, about all that the 14 classmates of mine and I have accomplished, because it's pretty cool to think about. But specifically when they saw the book cover, they're like, wow, where can I get one? It became less of like a hypothetical, oh, she's talking about the book again. And more of a, like, this is gonna happen. Let's make this thing happen. So. So my parents are both entrepreneurs, and I've seen how in their lives they've had some pretty cool projects, and it's just been a really kind of creative career path that they've taken, and I think that was something that I've always been drawn to. So I was excited to see and learn more about how that could kind of play out in my life, and see what that would mean for me personally. I'd say you definitely should, because it's pretty cool. Not even just in the end, I think I would have told you that a few months ago, like, you definitely should, even in the middle of the process, because it is a lot of work, and it's like a big choice to go ahead and move forward and put your all into something that you kind of don't really know how it's going to turn out. But what's so cool about the prospect of having a book in my hands that I've completed is it is just the potential to use that kind of like selfishly is huge, but also the potential to help other people is huge, because words, I mean, like, everything we write can have a really cool impact on other people, and that's just so exciting that we all have that ability, and we all have something we can say that can kind of help someone else like us. So it's definitely worth it, personally, but also I think it's kind of a cool opportunity to reach out for other people too. Hi, I'm Maryn and I am the author of The Glass Sky. The Glass Sky is a book told from the lens of a college student who's looking to pursue a career in the outdoors. And it's kind of constructed by a series of stories collected from women in the outdoors that are really inspiring, really kind of successful in their pursuits because they're out there doing it. So it's a cool compilation of some successful people. So I think a good fit would be any woman in college who likes the outdoors and is looking to have a job after school. or, you know, more specifically, any woman of any age really that is, you know, interested in working professionally in the outdoors, or even just recreationally enjoying time in the outdoors. But then on a broader scale, I think it really can be read by anyone. My dad, who really doesn't fit either of the above descriptions, said he enjoyed it. I know he's my dad, so he kind of has an obligation to say that, but he did say it was thought-provoking in ways to him. So I think that it kind of touches on some topics that aren't really talked about. So I think it would be cool, you know, if anyone were to pick it up and read it.